theme for World Ozone Day, 16 September 2020. Ozone for Life, 35 years of ozone layer protection. History of the Ozone Day. 16 September is observed as the World Ozone Day every year. In 1994, the UN General Assembly proclaimed 16 September the International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer. This event commemorates the date of signing of the Montreal Protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer in 1987. What is ozone layer? The ozone layer is a deep layer in the stratosphere encircling the earth that has large amounts of ozone in it. The layer shields the entire earth from much of the harmful ultraviolet radiations that comes out from the sun. Ozone is a special form of oxygen made up of 3 atoms of oxygen. The UV rays separates the 2 atoms of oxygen, which can then individually recombine with often oxygen molecules to form ozone, that is O3, which is a trioxygen inorganic molecule having pungent smell and pale blue color. Importance of ozone layer. Ozone layer blocks harmful UV rays from the sun and protects biological processes on the earth which are essential for sustenance of life. If not blocked by ozone layer, exposure to ultraviolet radiation can increase the risk of cataracts, skin cancer, and other detrimental effects among humans. UV rays. Ultraviolet radiations are electromagnetic waves coming from the sun in sunlight. About 10% of the total light output of the sun consists of ultraviolet radiations. Direct exposure to UV radiations can cause our skin to tan and even burn. Ultraviolet radiations reaches the Earth's surface in wavelengths between 290 nanometer and 400 nanometer. Visible light is between 400 nanometer and 700 nanometer. Types of UV rays. This stands for ultraviolet A and can be more easily remembered as UV aging rays because they are the cause of long-term skin damage and photoaging. In other words, cause premature aging, wrinkles and sunspots. This stands for ultraviolet B and are often referred to as UV burning rays because they are the cause of sunburn. Unlike UVA, they have different strengths year-round. UVB rays are the common cause of most skin cancers, which is why UVB protection is so important. Ultraviolet C is the most dangerous type of ultraviolet light in terms of its potential to harm life on Earth, cannot penetrate Earth's protective ozone layer. Therefore, it poses no threat to human, animal, or plant life on the Earth. Ozone layer depletion. Ozone depletion is the gradual thinning of Earth's ozone layer in the upper atmosphere, caused by the release of chemical compounds containing gaseous chlorine or bromine from industry and other human activities. It also depletes when chlorofluorocarbons, that is CFCs, and halogens, that is gases formerly found in aerosol spray cans, as well as refrigerants, are released into the atmosphere. Causes of ozone layer depletion. Chlorofluorocarbons or CFCs are the main cause of ozone layer depletion. These are released by solvents, spray aerosols, refrigerators, air conditioners, etc. Researchers say that the unregulated launching of rockets results in much more depletion of ozone layer than the CFCs do. If not controlled, this might result in a huge loss of ozone layer by the year 2050. The nitrogenous compounds such as NO2, NO, and 2O are highly responsible for the depletion of the ozone layer. The ozone layer has been found to be depleted by certain natural processes such as sunspots and stratospheric winds. Process of ozone layer depletion. CFCs do not react with anything in the low atmosphere and hence eventually migrate to the upper atmosphere, where the sun's radiations is intense enough to break them apart. This produces free chlorine. The chlorine radical, which is highly reactive, strips the extra oxygen atom from an ozone molecule, forming chlorine monoxide and leaving an oxygen molecule as a product of the reaction. Chlorine monoxide combines with another ozone molecule to form two oxygen molecules and leave the chlorine atom free to begin the process again and thus destroying ozone.
Good morning, one and all. Myself, Ms. Siddhi Shivananda Bide from Standard 10C, and today I am here to give you all some information about the process of depletion of ozone layer. The process of depletion of ozone layer begins when CFCs, that is chlorofluorocarbons, and ozone depleting substances, that is ODS, are emitted in the atmosphere. CFCs were used in industries as refrigerants, degazing solvents, and propellants. In lower atmosphere, CFC molecules are extremely stable chemically and do not dissolve in rain and thus can linger for longer duration. After several years, ODS molecules reach the ozone layer in the stratosphere, which starts about 10 kilometers above the Earth's surface. Once in stratosphere, CFCs and ODS destroy the ozone layer. In case of CFCs, ultraviolet light in the stratosphere knocks loose a chlorine atom of the molecule, which can then destroy numerous ozone molecules. In effect, ODS molecules are removing ozone molecules faster than they are created by natural processes, and this leads to the thinning of ozone layer. This thinning represents the reduction in concentration of ozone molecules in a particular portion in the stratosphere. Areas where ozone layer is thin are commonly referred as ozone holes. So this is how, in short, the process of depletion of ozone layer takes place. And on this occasion of World Ozone Day, I would like to make an appeal to all of you to reduce the use of ozone depleting substances and act like a whole to prevent a whole and save our Mother Earth. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.
Greenhouse effect and ozone layer. Greenhouse gases, which are heat trapping, contribute to create the cooling conditions in the atmosphere that lead to ozone depletion. These gases absorb heat at relatively low altitudes and warm the surface, but they have opposite effect in higher altitudes because they prevent heat from rising. In a cooler stratosphere, ozone gas creates a cooling effect that results in further ozone depletion.
With our sun beaming radiation to Earth. For billions of years, our only protection from the damaging effects of radiation has been in the upper atmosphere. High concentrations of a gas called ozone form a natural protective covering. However, this ozone layer is fragile. If you compressed all the ozone particles at sea level, the layer would only be 1/10 of an inch thick. There's evidence that the ozone layer in the upper atmosphere is diminishing. Scientists have discovered an unpredicted huge gap over Antarctica. Over the Arctic, there's the possibility of another smaller hole. Unconfirmed measurements indicate that the ozone concentration on the rest of the planet is also diminishing. In 1974, the United States banned the use of fluorocarbons in hopes of curbing the problem. Public awareness campaigns persuaded the manufacturers of aerosol products to ban the use of fluorocarbons in sprays and use more ecological pump sprays. Many thought the problem had been solved, but findings now indicate that the ban wasn't enough. Evidence like these satellite pictures of the South Pole alerted scientists that the problem hadn't gone away. The white line around the rim is the equator. The pink area in the middle is extremely low concentrations of ozone. This image, taken in October 1986, prompted a hasty scientific expedition to the Antarctic. Satellite measurements were confirmed with ground-based tests. There is still not enough evidence to blame only synthetic compounds for the ozone depletion. Natural forces such as wind or solar activity have not been ruled out as causes of the destruction of ozone. But fluorocarbons are still suspect. Fluorocarbon sprays are still legal in most of Europe. Only the United States, Canada, Norway, Sweden, and Finland have banned their use. Fluorocarbons, also known as chlorofluorocarbons or CFCs, are still used worldwide in other products. They're used under the trade name of Freon as a coolant in the manufacturer of air conditioners. They are used in styrofoam cups, containers, and packing materials. CFCs are not so dangerous when used in these modes. It's during industrial testing or leakage from a discarded refrigerator that the gas escapes into the atmosphere. CFC molecules are very stable. They can stay intact for the 7 to 10 years it takes them to reach the upper atmosphere. Once above the ozone layer, the trouble begins. There, the sun's unfiltered radiation breaks down the CFCs into their elements, carbon, fluorine, and chlorine destroys the ozone. Computer models predict that we could lose 6.5% of our global ozone by the middle of the next century. And in only 15 years, we can expect to lose 4% over New York and Paris, 8% over higher latitudes like Norway. The depletion of the ozone layer poses many dangers to our life on Earth. Among them, skin cancer from exposure to higher concentrations of ultraviolet light. There's also evidence it could cause cataracts, retinal damage, and a suppression of the body's immune response system. Some plant growth could be stunted, lowering crop yields. Also, there's the danger of the destruction of many aquatic organisms, disturbing the entire food chain. Scientists warn that we could be upsetting the balance of a delicate life support system on Earth.
Effects of ozone layer depletion. Ozone depletion is affecting the human health and environment negatively, as it allows the penetration of UV radiation to reach the Earth's surface. These radiations can cause severe diseases in humans such as skin cancer, eye damage, and genetic mutations. Furthermore, the ozone depletion is affecting the aquatic life, biogeochemical cycles, air quality and also contributing in global warming. Why to restore ozone layer? Today, it's important for us to take preventive measures and take a step and try to prevent the depletion of ozone layer caused due to human actions. If we don't do so, the human and plant life, our environment, and our Mother Earth herself will have to face its consequences. It's important to repair the damage done to this planet, or else it will be on the verge of extinction. Ways to stop ozone layer depletion. First, limit fossil fuel powered transportation. Transportation networks accounts for up to 70% of the greenhouse gas emissions that nations like the United States produce. By limiting the burning of fossil fuels, we remove the gases that can interfere with ozone production, thereby encouraging the shield to replenish itself. Something as simple as taking the bus to work or school instead of driving just one day per week can have a profound effect. Second, prevent any use of CFCs. For 40 years, it has been known that the chlorine in CFCs break down the ozone layer at a rate of 1 lakh:1. Continuing to update agreements such as the Montreal Protocol and the Vienna Convention can help the world continue to be on the path towards the recovery. Avoid any products, including pesticides, which could encourage a CFC release. Third, embrace renewable energies. Coal-fired power plants helped to fuel the Industrial Revolution. They have also helped to acidify our oceans and contribute combustion-related CFCs into our atmosphere. By switching these power plants off and replacing them with renewable energy options such as solar or wind, the ozone layer will have an opportunity to recover. Fourth, embrace sustainable land use options. Trees and other forms of plant life absorb carbon out of the atmosphere and replace it with oxygen. Practices such as deforestation, therefore, encourage ozone depletion because there aren't the natural tools in place for restoration. Implementing sustainable land use, which offers quick growth crops while reducing deforestation, could be an immediate solution to ozone depletion that we could implement. Fifth, purchase recycled products whenever possible. Recycled products require fewer natural resources to be consumed in their creation. This saves us energy and encourages the planet to heal at the same time. Can we restore the ozone layer? Ever since we have known about the depletion of ozone layer, constant efforts have been taken to restore the ozone layer. Since the 1980s, there has been a big hole in the layer over Antarctica which was widening till 2000. But the hole is restoring and it was the smallest in size in 2018. This was possible only because people realized what damage they had caused to the layer. We humans have proved that with our intelligence we can achieve anything. So it must be our priority to restore, preserve and protect the ozone layer as well as our environment. With our efforts, we can definitely restore the ozone layer.
Every day, as the sun shines on the Earth, it sends ultraviolet rays that can cause sunburn and sometimes damage our DNA. Like a sunscreen for our planet, the ozone layer absorbs most of this harmful radiation and protects us. But in the early 1980s, scientists discovered that the ozone layer was thinning over Antarctica each August and September. In 1987, nations around the world came together to fix the problem through the Montreal Protocol. The international treaty banned the production of ozone-depleting chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs. But these chemicals had been in use for decades, and they stay in the atmosphere for a long time. So, it took a while to see the effects of the ban. In 2000, the ozone hole was the largest ever observed by scientists. But conditions slowly improved. Data from NASA and several partners show a 20% decrease in ozone depletion during August and September from 2005 to 2016. In 2017, the hole is the smallest since 1988. A year later, the hole was smaller than expected. Studies suggest that the ozone layer over Antarctica should mostly recover by the middle of the 21st century.
Good morning everyone. Today I, Vignesh Santosh Tivrekar from Milagres High School, Standard 10, am here to express my views on the occasion. Today is 16th of September, celebrated as World Ozone Day. Every year we celebrate this day to protect the ozone layer from depleting by decreasing the use of substances that are the main cause of ozone layer depletion. Now the first question coming in our mind is, what is ozone layer? Is this topic so important that it is celebrated internationally? The answer to this question is definitely yes. Ozone layer is a protective layer in our atmosphere, in the stratosphere. It plays a very important role in our day-to-day life. It blocks the harmful UV rays coming from the sun. Now the second question is, what are UV rays? These are nothing but the harmful ultraviolet radiations emitted by the sun. If these rays enter our atmosphere, they can cause severe diseases like skin cancer, cataract, genetic mutations, etc. When the scientists working in the late 1970s discovered that humanity was creating a hole in this protective shield of ozone, they raised the alarm. The hole caused by ozone-depleting gases used in aerosols, ACs, refrigerators was threatening to increase cases of skin cancer, cataract, and plant, crops, and ecosystem destruction. So now, day by day, this layer is depleting due to the use of aerosols, AC, refrigerators, which emit CFCs and other harmful gases. Due to this, there are holes in the ozone layer, which lead the harmful UV rays directly to us, and hence humans have started facing many problems related to eyes and skin. So now, to protect this layer, we are celebrating the Ozone Day. Now it becomes our responsibility as well as our duty to help our Mother Earth recover. For this, we must lessen the use of AC, refrigerator, aerosols, and any other articles that emit CFCs. This will help the ozone layer to recover again, and we would live a happy and secure life as before. Save ozone, save Mother Earth. Thank you.